Hey, hello, my friend. Hopefully that you are doing great. So in this lesson, I want to say you how testng help us to run the test in parallel with many strategies. So now, for example, if I want to test in parallel, I will put something first. Things first, I need to remove this one, okay? And the second thing that I will call the parallel. So inside parallel, we have so many methods inside classes, methods, and the test. So I will explain one by one. Okay, so first thing first, this one is classic. And what I want to do that I will put a thrust count, for example, 4. So succession for a single machine here, the maximum browser version that we need to learn is 4 because it will be the good performance for us. So don't try to learn more. Except you have Selenium grid or something like that, it will be another context. Okay, so this is a single machine, so the thrust count maximum is 4. So what is the thrust count mean? The thrust count is the maximum browser session that can be executed in the same time. Okay, and this is the parallel strategy. So in this case, I want to run in classes in parallel. So what does that mean? That means, for example, here, for example, I have another test. Okay, let me try to boost more. But this is not login test. It's something like, let me try to go login, and then we can do something like task, maybe task root test. So I want to test something, for example, task root test here. And then, okay, if I provide something test in the classes in parallel, that means in each test, I want to run all of the class in parallel. But for each test here, it's still single. For example, I will have another one here. It's not login test. I want to create another one, for example, login 2. So I will create, copy another one here, and that's okay. So here, that means we will run the login test and login test 2 in parallel. Based on the test strategy, here is parallel in classes. But in each test here, it will run this login test first, and then it will run the task cross test later. But each time it runs each test, it will run those classes in parallel. Okay, so for example, now let me try to trigger and run it. So you probably see two browsers will be open. Okay, now we run it. And then you can see two browser session is now open and running in parallel. And then another two browser session running in parallel for another test methods. And the last one, is just running one by one browser session because this one you see is just only one classic inside. So this is the thing. So the first strategy is running parallel in class. Let me try to tell you again, okay? So when we run something parallel in classes, that means the test here, you see, it will run this test first and this test later. But each time it run a test, inside it will run all the classes in parallel with the maximum test count here. Okay, this is the first strategy. So the second strategy that I want to put something like the test. So for example, I have two tests here and I want to run them in parallel. So that means I will open one browser session for this test, another browser session for this test. But in each test, I will just run class by class one by one. It's not parallel by class anymore. It's just running parallel by test. So if I hit the run here, you will see two browser sessions will be open again sometime. And after each test, for example, this test is finished, so we will see just only one browser session open for this test only. Okay, so here is now launching two browser session again. And then I think the last one will be one browser session. Yeah, it is. Okay, so now you already know how we use the parallel strategy here by classes or by test. Okay, so the last one is methods, and I think you can understand easily it's because it will be very similar. So now what I run the test one by one. Okay, this step and then this step, for example, like that. But after that, in each step, I will run the class one by one again. But in each class here, we have many methods inside, and I will run all of the methods in parallel. So for example, if I open this one, we have three methods inside. So probably I will see three browser sessions will be open at the same time for this step to run and this step as well. Because three is still, lower than the maximum thrust count here. For example, I put two. So that means two sessions will open and the last one will be open for the rest. Okay, so this is the strategy method. Again, it runs test by test, and then in each test, it will run class by class. But in each class, it will run all of the methods in parallel based on the thrust count here. Okay, now run it, you probably see three browser sessions will be open because we have no, not three, maybe just two. Oh, four, because we have this one and this one as well. So it will run all the methods inside the classes in parallel. So basically, if I increase to 6, it will run totally 6. Okay, and we're done. So this is was about the parallel execution in testng. So basically, what we want to do, we just need to put something like parallel in classes. That should be enough. Okay. So in each test, we will run the class one by in parallel. And in each class, we can run the methods one by one. It's okay. But again, it's up to you. It depends on your business domain or your application and so on. So try to explore around because this one is very interesting feature that is provided by testng. Okay. And bye for now and see you in the next lesson.